Hello, my name is Gilles, and today I'll be talking about the business opportunities in Morocco together with my teammates Jack, Gabriel, John-Pieter, Judit, and Laia. So first, a short overview about the table of contents. I'll give an introduction to Morocco, I'll talk about the political landscape, the geographical landscape, and later on my colleagues will talk about the social and economical landscape, the starting of doing a business in Morocco, the cost of this, the text and overview, the laws and the legislations, and the sectors that we think are very valuable to invest in, and we'll draw some conclusions for you. So a short introduction to Morocco. Morocco is a northern African country with its capital Rabat. And the king is Mohammed VI, and the prime minister currently right now is Mr. Otami. They have a population of approximately 37 million, and 99% of its population actually believes in the Islam. A political landscape in Morocco. Morocco is a parliamentary constitutional monarchy, which means that the head of government is its prime minister, who is appointed by the king of Morocco. The government has executive power. Talking about the legislative power is in hands of the government and the two chambers of parliament, actually, the Assembly of Councillors and the Assembly of Representatives of Morocco. Its judicial power is in hands of the Supreme Court, and Morocco is seen as a hybrid regime, which means that there are regular electoral voter frauds. Talking about the geographical landscape, lastly, the natural resources. Morocco is the world's largest exporter or producer of phosphate rock. And this is mainly for exporting, unless the two biggest ones, who are the United States and China, who mainly use it for their own use. And 85% of the total world reserves are actually located in Morocco. Climate change issues, we'll talk about it, and Morocco's performances is seen as extremely poor. They have lack of clean water, air pollution, and waste disposal, which is really skyrocketing.
Morocco are on the receiving end of $500 million. That's going into the early education, primary and pre-primary education. They're going to be training new teachers, new infrastructure, buildings. A great wave of change is coming to Morocco's education. Lastly, I'd just like to talk about the universities. So the universities currently graduating 40,000 graduates per year, but this is expected to drastically increase with the new wave of primary education investment. In fact, if we can see from the graph here, in 2018 they reached a new record-breaking height of just over 4 million enrolments, and I believe 2019 was an increase again. And just as a side note, that Morocco is home to the oldest university in the world, over 1,000 years old. Okay. So next up, I'm just going to talk to you about the demographics of Morocco. So the population, 37 million, and that's due to grow in line with the global population. Average age, rather young, 29.5. Religion, 99% Muslim. And the languages, this is where it gets interesting. The languages is a vast array of languages, predominantly Arabic, but also 50% are believed to speak French. There's a heavy Spanish influence due to its correlation with Spain in the north, and of course English is spoken rather seldom, but English is spoken throughout. So some key takeaways that I'd like you to take away from what I've just mentioned here: that Morocco is a young country, young average age, with key reform going to the primary education. So it's very exciting for the future of investors. I think now is the perfect time to invest and get in there all you can.
The Moroccan government is busy with the liberalization of the country's economy to encourage entrepreneurship. They simplified investment procedures. Also, there is the fact that they are trying to increase the growth of local and foreign markets by passing new laws. Morocco has free trade agreements with the European Union, the United States of America, Turkey, and the Arab and Mediterranean countries. Reasons to invest in Morocco are the political situation, good infrastructure, and its geographical strategic. Reasons why you shouldn't invest in Morocco: there's so be corruption in the country, they are still highly dependent on the agriculture, and they are vulnerable to natural disasters. Moroccan entrepreneurs are allowed to create any type of company that exists. The most popular companies are LLCs, SARLs, and outsourcing solutions. To set up a business in Morocco, you must have a valid residence permit. A lot of international entrepreneurs start their company in their home country, and later they start up a branch or a satellite office in Morocco because of the low rent and expenses compared to other countries.
Mendoza, and I'm going to talk about the tax overview, laws and regulation, and the business sectors to invest in Morocco. Tax overview. Moroccan tax applies territorially. Foreign companies are liable on Moroccan-sourced income, even when it is of occasional nature, at the same rates as local companies. Capital gains are treated as non-current income and are taxed the normal corporate tax rate. All expenses incurred in linked with business activities are generally deductible. An exception can be applied if specified. Registration duties are due on all written and verbal conventions. The rates of registration go from 1 to 6%. And there's an existence of a payroll tax called the professional tax training that is imposed on gross monthly remuneration of employees that are subject to social security contributions. Laws and regulation. The country has introduced a variety of policies that open the door for foreign investment, protecting it, and also with the intentions to boost the local market to reduce the social gap that exists in the country. The country has also signed agreements with 51 countries, including the United States, France, and Spain, among others, to guarantee the overseas investment against risk of nationalization and compulsory purchase. Business sectors to invest in. From the top 10 of products exported from the country, we see that the 5 most attractive ones are financial market, the renewable energies market, the information and communication market, the technologies market, logistics market, and the manufacturing market. We see these ones as to be the ones with the biggest prospects of growth in the country in the coming years, and therefore are the places to invest in.
In the past 10 years, even though industries such as automotive and aerospace have made great developments, sectors such as textile and pharmaceutical have fallen back. In April 2014, the government introduced an industrial plan called Plan d'Accélération Industrielle. This plan was divided in 3 different classes called Industrial Ecosystem for a More Integrated Industry, Support Tools Adapted to the Textile Industry, and Stronger International Position. These different classes have a total of 10 targets that they want to accomplish. Some of these targets are reduce automation, build a better integrated industry, provide integrated measures for the textile industry, give both government support and banking support to the textiles, improve Morocco's position, both internationally and among other African countries, and increase the foreign direct investment. With this plan, they want to introduce the technology to the different business in the sector to create around 500,000 new jobs and raise the GDP from 14% to 23%.
It is very important to learn and analyze a culture before starting doing business in a country, especially in a traditional one like Morocco. Also, knowing the language is recommendable. In Morocco, the main business language is French, but knowing a base of Arab would be ideal. To compare countries' cultures, the Hofstede's dimension theory is very effective. In the chart, we can see the huge difference in long-term orientation between these 2 countries. It is very high in Belgium and very low in Morocco. So the first country will have objectives and projects planned years in advance, and the second will be tighter in time and willing to improvise much more. We can also see the similarities in masculinity and power distance. The business etiquette in Morocco is different than in Belgium. For starters, punctuality is not relevant. It is recommendable to arrive at time to meetings, but do not expect the others to be there. Men should wear long suits and women long dresses or long shirts and skirts, always covering legs, arms and shoulders. When visiting someone's home, it would be best to bring a gift, but not alcohol nor pork products because they are Muslim. And greetings depend on the gender. And with that, it would be all. Thank you for your attention.